Hello, this is your friend, Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo, bringing you a brief message on principles, or call it pillars. Let's call this pillars for building relationships and success. Call it pillars for success, especially building relationships and every kind of togetherness for success. I call them pillars. There are 6 of them. Now, these 6 things I'm going to mention, you need that to run a nation, run a business, marriage, courtship, in fact, your personal life, family life, a company, a community, for success. Pillars that you need. But specifically, I'm very much concerned right now about relationships, courtships, marriages, and family life. The first principle, the first pillar is principles. I'm talking of pillars to build success in all areas of our communities, areas of life. Number 1 is principles. There are principles for everything. If you don't observe those principles, you'll be in trouble. If you have gardening, a very good garden, for example, as a biologist, it needs 6 hours of sunlight. So you should position a garden in a place where you don't have a tall building casting a shadow, which you cut off the 6 hours. If you live in an area with skyscrapers, if you don't position your garden well, you realize that your garden is not being fruitful and somebody else is. If you live in New York and the sun rises from Brooklyn area and goes towards New Jersey, so the tall buildings will cast a shadow. All these become important. Okay? There are principles for courtships, principles for marriage. So we learn. Some of them, they are defined here and there, but some of them you come to learn when you know the person, temperament, background, knowledge of the person, educational level, health situation, who raised him or her in a village condition, small town condition, city condition, all these. But you observe principles don't change, methods change. You see, forgiveness and love, understanding, neatness, gentle talk, patience. There are principles that don't change for men or women. Whether you are a youth or you are a young adult or you are an old man or old woman, middle age, doesn't change. It's the same principle. Okay? So find the principles for the particular thing you are doing. If you're going to build from your savings to, usually people don't use too much of that. You can't just go and take all your savings. Sometimes, depending on the circumstances. But you have to be careful. You find a way of, that's why people go stage by stage. Okay? So know how to go for loans, be careful of payment plan. So the principles involved in building. You see, from building code to inspections to everything you need for the building. If you're going to raise a child, there are principles for parenting. The love, the forgiveness, the tenderness, understanding, how to make a child grow, how to feed the child, make the child sleep. He said it verbs. It means what? He's eating well and all those things. I'm not into that now. But there are principles involved. Having a baby doesn't just make you a wonderful mother or father without the principles. You can't just get up and find a woman, I'm going to marry. Make love and then babies. Sexual activity doesn't just make you married. Okay? And after all, before the marriage, you have your principle of holiness, trust, honesty, telling the truth. Show leadership qualities as a man. Show you are cooperative and understanding, otherwise you'll be a problem for every man. So there are principles you have to know and observe them to be able to appeal to and appeal to your partner and make the one happy. Principles for building a home. See, if you're going to eat You must have a dining table and the chairs, and this one, the kitchen must have utensils, and that things, and cleaning, washing dishes, and cooking well, balanced diet. The kind of curtains must match the furniture or match the rug or carpet, match the walls and all that kind of thing. Those are principles. Okay, the home must have this, must have that. Okay, if you're going to have a friend or you're going to do business, there are principles for good business. The honesty, balancing of the accounts, and meetings for progress, evaluation to see where we are. The same with running organizations. You see, ensuring that every week there is some prayer that has gone on, because the prayer becomes the foundation. You may not see the results immediately. There are prayers that are the pillars that hold the day and hold life, hold everything. So that the spiritual principles of prayer, if it is poor in the courtship, is going to affect the marriage. Beginning of the marriage is poor, is going to affect it. It's not too late, no matter how many years you've married. If your prayer has been poor all along, you better strengthen those pillars, because there are things coming. Okay? And the neatness, things you didn't take serious, now you are living with somebody, and it's a problem of neatness. You're not romantic, you're not loving. You stayed with someone who was so abusive. You see, and all you knew is boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're treating your husband as if it's a boyfriend, treating your wife as if it's a girlfriend, because that is all you knew. No one taught you. Counseling was some wishy-washy counseling. See, very good, practical, God-directed counseling is scarce these days, I'm telling you. Okay? Don't just take something from the internet and just be practicing. So principles. Number 2, promises. God has given promises to be with us till the close of the age. I'll strengthen you, Isaiah 41:10. You are more than a conqueror through Jesus, Romans 8:37. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. 1 John 4:4, 1 John 4:4. He who is in me is greater than he who is in the world. And a whole lot of things go on in the form of promises. Sometimes there are promises from parents also who are there to help you. Pastors will help you. So promises, human promises are there, but God's promises first. Say, stop, this principle is very hard. I have my passions shooting up. How do I keep myself for this 1 year or 2 years of courtship? Or 6 months? There are promises to make you strong. So for us to cooperate with the word and prayer and obedience and take a decision, I won't do it. Okay? Once you've decided I won't let any taxi or car knock me on the road, you can always be safe. No matter what, you jump. You're careful about crossing. We are not that careful in our crossings, in our relationships and other things, in business deals. When they see money is coming, they throw away the fearing of God and think God will understand. And they're very dishonest with money. And the thing collapses because the way you started and the way you have treated other people with financial dealings, God is not happy. So he didn't make you make progress with your project. Let's be careful. Or your ministry. The way you rebelled towards your senior pastor. The way you rebelled to form your ministry. The way you're dishonest, didn't tell the people the truth. The way you are controlling. The way you draw attention to yourself. The way you keep others behind, because if they prophesy and see the visions and preach well and teach well and sing well, it's as if they are getting all the attention. So you find a way of making them go behind a little bit. Let me tell you, the only way to get people down is to be down yourself. See, the only way to continue to keep people down is to be down yourself. So find out if you are down, whether it's because you're keeping others down. That will not make you rise. Because you think when you leave them, they're going to rise above you. No. If God is working, no one can stop him. Isaiah 43 verse 13. So promises. You see, or you have a promising wife, promising husband, promising fiancé, promising brother or sister or uncle, a promising job, promising, so all these, but God's promises primarily. The third one is the process. What are the processes you go through to marry? Processes you need to go through to do the business. Processes to be the leader. Processes to go through to have justice, good and fair elections and leadership for the nation or for the church elections. Sometimes I see people in church fighting over elections. Can you imagine? Or in the community. I was in one of these cities, I don't want to mention, in the US, and they had this tribal groupings. And from Africa, the Africans having tribal groupings. And sometimes they want to elect, or yeah, you have to select. It's not like there in your homeland where it's by succession and as this person is supposed to be next on the throne. But when you have traveled, and sometimes these days they try to do that. But in some cases, you can't just do that. You find a way of, because the one may not fit, or there is anybody of that real royal family, and it is us coming together to call ourselves, we from this place, this is our people. And sometimes they'll fight for police to come and arrest them. Can you imagine? Because they are all competing for the position. You see? There are processes involved. When you observe the processes, the fighting will cease. The fights in churches and ministry, if you're not observing the biblical and the spiritual processes involved in doing things. People run here and there. People delay, people run ahead. And it's very typical for the beginners to always feel, hey, it's ours. They don't say it, but their behavior shows. It's very common in churches where they appointed elders. There were 10 or 15 who started, and 5 of them became elders. Several donkey years down the road, the people are old, the ideas are old, and as a matter of fact, the church has outgrown all the experiences, usefulness, and the pastor can't change them because it's like, oh, it's a special reward for them, and he doesn't want to lose them. To appear as if we started with you, you're not rewarding us, and he's keeping them. Then the people too see it and they enjoy it. Oh, we need God to transform, not just information, transformation of our minds and hearts. And it goes on and on and on and on. It becomes very difficult to deal with those old classmates. It is a problem in ministry and in the churches and in groups. It's not easy. It's not easy. So there are processes involved. The next one are tools. That's number 4. What tools are you going to use? If you're going to war, or there's an army, you need your gun, you need your knife, you need a uniform, you need a vehicle, you need that. If it's a government, you must have the various wings and all the tools you need, and all the meetings and committees, plus technology you need. If it is marriage, there are tools. You are going to eat, cooking must be learned. Good cooking. There are tools, which includes the material things you need for places. There should be a living room, there should be this, and a bed, even your kind of mattress can start giving you some backache after a while, or pain in the neck. So everything you need to make a home, the physical one, the love, the forgiveness, punctuality, the responsibility. If you go out, let's know where you are. If you expect at 6 o'clock, we're going to eat, and you know you can't get home, call. You see, if you're always figuring out and we don't know when you're coming home, you're being irresponsible. Don't boast with me paying all the rent and I'm the one who bought the $6,000 furniture and I'm the one who's helping with your brother's school and your brother's visa and this one and that one. I'm the one who's paying your fees. I'm the one who bought you the white car in Valentine and all these things you try to do, and I've given you twins as if you made yourself pregnant. And I do this and I sacrifice for you, and I'm just there. I give you honor and respect. All that, we know that is good. But there should be tools. There should be tools that we all need. Okay? I need moral tools, spiritual tools, physical tools, social tools, from conversation to the physical ones, to the moral ones, the way you correct. You don't just shut up to the children, and the way you You do other things, your attitude, the way you snap back at me in front of children. Tools that are necessary, things that we need. Your ability to cook good soup, make good soup, and a gravy and a stew and fish, and be able to buy things wisely, purchases, balancing the budget, wise spending. The way you use money is a problem, so our tool is always broken. Our financial tool is always broken. Our romantic tool, our conversation tool, see, our love tool, and our sexual tool is terribly broken. We are always fixing, taking our sexual tool to mechanics, and it's not getting fixed on a bed because you will not listen or you will not learn. Someone said they don't know and they won't learn too. You see? And being responsible, be considerate. You leave me sitting here, I don't know when you are coming, you will not call, and every time you are late, you have an excuse. You see? You won't say sorry, but always making me say sorry. The way you treat my family. When it's Christmas, and when it's Thanksgiving, and when it's the festival time, whatever it is, your family is always been satisfied. What about mine? Maybe I brought a child into the marriage. You see, and your attitude towards the child, or your attention is on your child you brought first, not the child or children between us. You see, you're not thinking of me. Some had only one child or never had, but one of them brought children. And this person would toil and look after the children wonderfully. They finish and gone, and that woman or that man doesn't care. They don't mind this woman who toiled so much or the man who toiled. It's not good. You see. So you want to finish your master's or your degree, I'll do mine. Then the second child came. And up to now, I never finished the whole degree, it's associate degree, or I just finished high school, or never did my master's. But I had a dream before I married you. And you forced me into a box. But you opened your mouth and told me I'm doing my master's. After our first child, I'll start doing it online or this or that. Then the second child started coming. And now it's 5 years. And so many things have come, and I don't know when I'm going to fulfill this or do that. We say we're going to work together, build this, whether it's a pharmacy or a clinic or business or something together and work together. And then the whole thing changed when your uncle convinced you and your auntie convinced you and your parents convinced you, and everything is in a mess. The tools are broken. Let us mend the tools we need for love, unity, understanding, enjoying each other. Hugging, touching. You see, when was the last time you hugged me or hugged her? Hugged him or hugged your husband or hugged your wife? You see, so you should be able to hug in front of the kids for them to know. I'm not talking of the bedroom type of hugging. You should be able to hug. If you can't hug in front of the children, you got a big problem. But you must solve it. I don't care what anointed or what successful, you're the richest or biggest, most anointed person in the world. You can't hug your spouse in front of your children, you got a problem. You have a romantic problem you are not paying attention to. God is not happy. That's not good. See, you can preach wonderful sermons from the pulpit. But the success of the church, success of the ministry, the pillar which you are supposed to use, that particular tool of interaction is not there. Unless you go to him in his office, he doesn't know how to interact with the people. It's a missing tool. It's not making the church, the ministry, the organization proceed properly. Pay attention to people. I say pay attention to people you meet on your way up, because on your way down, you meet the same people. Find tools that will keep you together. The word of God and prayer, big tool. And that is absent. That is a source of a problem, one of your major problems, your marriage, courtship, family, even the business. The word of God and prayer. Make it serious between the two of you mutually. And you begin to see things change. Rebuke the forces of evil, the ego. The stealing and dishonesty and things, bring in the word. Rely on the power of God, which is missing between the two of you as husband and wife. The next one. The fifth one is results. When you have the right principles and you have the promises of God and there are real assurances from people who are able and capable and loving, and then you go through the right processes involved, whether it's the business, the registration, where you know to do it, and occupancy, all those regulations. If it's marriage, transparency, Adam and Eve were total naked, meaning transparency. The money, the areas of trouble, the sex, the romance, the money, the in-law relations, and the finances, parental training, your wife is pregnant, the attention you pay to the person, being respectful to your husband. Men need a lot of respect. It's not that they should disrespect you. I say, ladies first, respect your wife. But the way you talk and carry yourself, if you destroy a man's respect, he's gone. See, and you submit to God and his need of not know how to respect you, not being responsible. You come down to the level like Jesus did and came down, then you can reach the one, but not only turn on and dishing out because the one is wrong. It's not helping. Doesn't help the man. So the results are going to encourage you. When you see results, that what you are doing in the marriage, in the relationship, in the business, even as a head of state, a commissioner, a minister of state, congressman, congresswoman, a representative, assemblyman, assemblywoman, a boss, a CEO, as a police officer, an army officer in the area, store manager, that person in the hospital, in charge of the ward, in charge of the hospital, in charge of the medicine, whatever it is, the boss of that small restaurant and whatever it is. When you begin to see restaurants of your interaction, you give them the tools, incentives they need. You don't rob them. You don't deny them of their rights. You're helping them, loving, your smiles, paying attention to them, being nice to them and courteous and things. You're going to see results. It encourages you to do more. And then finally, the benefits. Who's going to benefit? You're going to be blessed. Because when all the wonderful results come as a result of the right tools you use, you rely on promises and dependent on God, and you provide the right principles, benefits, and you are blessed because you're a good leader, a good husband, a good wife, a good courtship mate. I'm dating you and I'm beginning to enjoy you so much already. You are living with me. Your parents are somewhere, your parents live with me. House help, security man, as a pastor, associate, our new choir leader, our new youth pastor, women's executive, women's leader, a deaconess, an elder, okay, associate pastor, the one in charge of the sound system, you see, the one in charge of this, in charge of that, okay, the speakers for usual conventions, organizers, and all that, good parenting in the home, the way you relate to the children. When you do well and you write principles for the children, you write promises of God, and the help from your husband or wife, and then you go through the right process of how you correct them, discipline them without paralyzing them with your discipline, the right words, attention, for them to show them a love and affection. Affection is the icing on the cake of love, the way you behave, the way you look at the one, the hugging, the touching. If it's marriage, the cases you give out of the blue, and smacking areas of the body as appropriate. And then the tools, all these tools you are using, and then the results. So if I'm now cooking well, verbalize it, verbal appreciation for all that you see. And then the benefit is the joy, the peace, and more results coming. And especially doing the will of God, God is going to just shower the blessing on you. 6 pillars for building everything in life, especially relationships, your singleness, the right principles for being single, holy, organizing yourself. Can do a few purchases, things that are non-perishable, because in the future you're going to marry. Typically when you start dating or courting or finishing school, you may not have anybody at all, but starting to buy a few things here and there. Some jewelry, some shoes, something doesn't perish, okay, some plates and other things. The right principles, then rely on God's promises. And know that parents and people are there for you. Then go through the right process. Don't just jump and say all kinds of things to a man or woman, then you break it on phone relationship. Go through the right process of dating, courtship, and marriage. The right process we go through. The right tools you are using. physical tools, mental tools, your words, your attitude, then the results you'll be seeing, you see that you're enthusiastic. You're going to see that love is more. If you're understanding marriage more, you understand things, then you're going to benefit finally. Principles, number 1. Promises, number 2. Process, number 3. Tools, number 4. Results, number 5. Benefits, number 6. These are the 6 pillars for building success in life, especially relationships, courtships, marriages, homes, and family. God bless you. Call me in the United States on 1-917-741-0643. In Ghana, call 020-812-6533. Ghana code is 233. So 233-20-812-6533. Kumasi is 0275-353-802. 0275-353-802. Ghana code is 233. So 233-275-353-802. Our books in Kumasi are the Baptist Bookstore, opposite Anglican High School at Amakom. Call these numbers also. Or there's a book store called Above All, and near the Barclays Bank at Entum. In Ghana, go to Challenge Bookstores in Accra and other places and call these numbers. Overseas, call me. Go to Amazon.com. You can download some Kindle versions also and get some of the books on Amazon.com. I have a broadcast on Joy 99.7 FM every Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Hope for your family broadcast. You can get it anywhere in the world by using myjoyonline.com and go to live radio. myjoyonline.com and go to live radio. Saturday mornings, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. The email is kisseadoo@msn.com. So if you're searching Amazon or trying to Google me to find, I have a lot of articles scattered all over the place. It's KISSEADOO, Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Okay. On Facebook, I have 3 walls, 3 accounts. So there are 3 walls, 3 accounts. Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. KISSEADOO. Then Dr. Samuel with V initial, Kisseadoo. Then Reverend Dr. Kisseadoo. Okay. If he says his full, go to the Dr. Samuel middle initial V Kisseadoo. That one is the community page. You just like it. It never gets full. Okay. May God bless you. May God bless you and strengthen you. We have people to help with free counseling and prayer all over the place. Call these numbers and we will be there for you. If you want books, call us. Okay. God bless you.